This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm joined by trainer Gary Lockett over Zoom. Gary, commiserations on last night. Obviously, your man Chris Jenkins falling short in his British and Commonwealth title defence against Ekow Essuman. Just reflect on the fight for me. What went wrong?
Yeah, well, first of all, congratulations to Ekow Essuman and the team. Obviously, he fought very well last night, and nice fella. We caught up with the team after, and the boxers. I think there was a little bit of needle in the lead up, but they were all friends last night. So congratulations to them. I thought Chris started really, really well. First 2 rounds, I think he had the edge with the jab, didn't he? He was using his jab really well. He's come back at the end of the second round. He was really short of breath. He was finding it hard to breathe. He said, "My rib's gone." So I didn't really see the punch that had happened. But I think it was a 3-punch combination. I think Ekow's gone with a right hand, left hand to the head, and then he dropped a right to the body. It was like a cuff-in punch, and it caught Chris right in the rib. But I thought Chris still boxed very well after that. He stuck to the jab, and he was countering really well. But he just couldn't throw the right hand, because I think when he was throwing the right hand, it was rotating his rib cage. But then I think, an injury so early like that, it was always going to catch up. I think at one point, the 6th, 7th round, I thought, even with this injury, he could pull this off. But I think it was always going to catch up. And I think obviously when the ref stopped it, I think that was probably the ideal time.
Have you had any confirmation as to what the injury is yet?
Yeah, so Chris has gone to one of a guy that is a doctor down here, a border control doctor. He's just messaged me about half an hour ago. He said Chris has possibly broken 2 to 3 ribs. So it's a lot more serious than what I thought it was. So obviously a good shot from Ekow down there, which is obviously winning the titles. So very, very unfortunate for Chris. But look, I don't think last night he didn't look shot worn. He didn't look rusty at all. I thought he was boxing really, really well until the injury. And look, he's one brave man, because you could see when the fight was stopped, he was in a lot of pain, and then back in the dressing room, he was in a lot of pain. And even just, I got him out of bed this morning. I had to pull him up, and even just pulling him up out of bed, he was in a lot of pain. So, I think the fact that he went from the 7th right into the 8th, from the 2nd round with the injury right into the 8th round, is testament to how tough he is. So he's old school. He's really, really tough, and there's no quitting him.
Up until this fight was stopped, Gary, how did you see it? How was you kind of scoring it in your own head?
I probably had Chris 4-3 down. I think I had Ekow probably a point up. I think Chris had started to fade in the 7th. I think Ekow would, he started again on top in the 7th. I think he realised there was something wrong, and he started putting the pressure on Chris, knowing there wasn't really a lot coming back. So yeah, I had Ekow taking over in the 7th really, and just edging ahead.
Chris has had a horrible couple of years with his own career. You had Johnny Garton rematch obviously not happening, and then the Ekow Essuman bout kept on being pushed back. He obviously was looking to face Conor Benn, and that just never happened. It's been a tough couple of years for Chris. Given all of that and given his current injury, Gary, do you think we'll see him return?
Yeah, that's what he said. I think Chris spoke to Frank Warren after, and Frank Warren said, "Look, don't worry, we'll bring you back," which is great, because obviously they're Chris's promoters. They could probably drop him, couldn't they, if they wanted to? So it's great to hear that they'll bring him back. But like I previously said, if last night he looked really shot worn, and I'd be the first to tell him. But I thought he looked really, really good, even despite the rib damage. So we'll sit down next week when he's on the road to recovery. We'll talk about it and see where he goes from here.
just on Ekow Essuman, he himself now is in that picture calling out the likes of the Conor Benns or what have you. Having
Yeah.
seen him up close and personal last night, do you think he'd fare well against somebody like a Conor?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of guys in the mix, isn't there, now at welterweight? I mean, I see Liam Taylor won last night, so he's brought himself right into the mix as well. So we just have to see. I mean, they're all very evenly matched. I think a lot of them. There's about 5 or 6 there that are all very evenly matched, Chris included. So I'm sure it's going to be. I'm sure there's going to be some very good matches made in the upcoming months.
And Gary, just one other man I was wanting to touch on is Jay Harris. We haven't had a chance to catch up since his fight with Ricardo Sandoval. Again, a bit of time passed since then. Just to reflect on it for me, Gary, what do you make of it now?
Yeah, I don't think Jay disgraced himself at all. I just thought that Sandoval was a little bit special, wasn't he? I think we didn't really have a lot to go on. And from what I saw of him, he looked very good. He looked well schooled. He looked capable. But I saw that he'd been down twice in the one fight, come back to win, and he'd been down once in his earlier fight as well. So I thought maybe there's a weakness there, perhaps. Obviously, as I said, he looked well schooled. He looked like he could punch a little bit. So I just thought maybe, stick behind the jab the first couple of rounds, work him out, and see what comes of it. But Sandoval, I think, experience beyond his years, looked very poised, and even when Jay asked questions of him, he went for a little walk, reevaluated it, and then found a different gear. So I don't think that there was any disgrace in losing to him. So I think he's going to go on and probably win a world title himself. But then, we've had the option of moving down to light fly. And I think that's what Jay's going to do now, because he's always made flyweight pretty comfortably. Well, I say pretty comfortably. He's never had to cut water, so he diets all the way down to the weight. So I think he can just cut just a little bit of water out at the end. I think that'll sort of get the initial the remaining 4 pound off and get him down to light fly.
And Gary, just kind of leaving it there, really. I imagine it's been a frustrating and a difficult few weeks or month or so for yourself now. So I'll leave you to kind of just enjoy the rest of your Sunday if you can. Please pass on my best to Chris as well. How is Chris holding up?
He's okay, yeah. He is what he is. He's mad as a hatter, so he's still laughing. And look, when a couple of years ago, before he won the British title, he was on the verge of quitting. So anything else was a bonus. And he won the British title, then he won the Commonwealth title. And look, he's lost in a good technical fight last night. But look, he can be back. He said he'd love to do the fight again. I don't know if that's a possibility in the near future, but he's still there and he's still in the mix. So look, we can't be too disappointed. But again, congratulations to Ekow Essuman and the team. And nice to speak to you, Andy.
You too, Gary. Listen, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll speak to you again soon. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Thank you.